Hi, folks. Hey, I just want to brag on you guys for just a minute. And when I say that, I know I'm talking about the Christ in you, but really, 2020 was stellar. Thank you for all of your amazing support and response. Sir Isaac Newton, right, his third law states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, right? 2020 was crazy hard, and you would expect the church to respond in the same kind of negativity, COVID-like, right? But instead, you, by God's grace, provided an opposite reaction. Collectively, we responded by leaning into our mission, by being all the more passionate about helping the hurting and making disciples that make disciples, even when the world is being turned upside down. That's what you did. You stayed on point, and I bless you for that. As a spiritual community that is especially known for being a spiritual hospital, you continue to embrace that instead of recoiling away from it. As soon as COVID hit, immediately prayer meetings were started, literally dozens of them, via Zoom or conference calls, folks just reaching out saying, we just need to start praying together. It was just shortly after that I began to see the kitchen repeatedly getting filled up with folks gathering to make meals to take to others. Even with all the PPE gear and protocols going on, you still got together in order to serve the widows, to serve those that were sick and lonely. You just leaned into it. You continued to stay faithful in serving the homeless. Our OCC and that Artisan Market was fantastic. It was amazing still. Even with all the protocols and everything going on, you still keep reaching out. Our media and streaming, adding to the online engagement, all the weirdness that was happening, you stayed on point. I just get to testify to you today that your actions, they were full of the Spirit of God, and they were full of the Spirit of SWC. Thank you for that. I've asked Pastor Christine to join me for sharing a couple more SWC on mission stories that we didn't get to talk about at the past Sunday mission celebration and town hall. And by the way, if you didn't get to see that, make sure you do online. It's really pretty cool reports.
Really
and
cool.
Exciting plans for the future. But Christine, one of the reasons that I want to brag on the SWC family and ultimately about God's faithfulness is because many of the great things happen behind the scenes.
Yeah.
They're the stories that don't normally show up just based on event, because they're based on that long haul, the week ministry of the church. And but you recently went down to Agua Prieta, Mexico, and I think that ministry is one of those that really reveals the fruits of the long haul ministry. We've been serving with them. We actually helped them start 25 years ago, and now is doing really some fantastic work of children without parents. Tell us a little bit about your happening there this past Christmas when you went down.
So it was really great. We got to go down in December and just to bring some donations down there, but also bring Christmas presents.
Love it.
And it was so cool because just with everything, the complications of COVID, we were the only church that was able to go down last year.
Oh.
So it was so cool to be able to make an impact, to remind them they are loved, that they're supported, and to bring an individual Christmas present for every single child.
Love it.
Which was super cool. So we got to
And you got to play with them, right?
We got to hang out and play.
Cool.
And played soccer and baseball, and just to be able to talk and just have a relationship with them, because that's so important to us.
Yep.
But one of the cool things while we were down there was to hear some more of the stories of these children.
Right.
And Ruben, he's kind of the ranch dad. He was telling me one of the stories is, I look over at one of the girls and they're playing soccer and she's laughing and just having a great time. Okay. And he says, yes, she was the violent one. And I was kind of shocked by that statement, and he began to tell me her story that she was unwanted, and she had gotten put into different group homes, and she'd come out of a situation with a lot of neglect and a lot of abuse. Oh. It is such a sad story, but then going into these group homes, she was abused again. And because of all the sexual abuse, she starts to act out, and she was very, very aggressive. She broke all the windows in one of the group homes she was at, and so the solution was they ended up putting her into a hospital and just medicating her, and she was just completely numb. And then when they were ready to take her out, nobody wanted her, and so this unwanted child was yet again unwanted. Wow. and came to our ranch, and Reuben and his wife said, yes, we'll take her.
Love
And
it.
so they brought her in, and they began to show her what true love looks like and what appropriate love looks like from a father and from a mother, just really just spending all this time with her. And they're able to get her off all this medication. She is now this happy, sweet girl.
That's playing soccer with
Playing
you.
soccer.
Okay, I love
And
it,
she's
love
the
it.
one also that's getting up early in the morning, and she's helping the little ones get ready in the morning and braiding their hair and playing with them and serving.
Beautiful.
And this girl that had no family, that was unwanted, has a place, has a mom, has a dad, has siblings, has a safe home, and is experiencing healing in Jesus.
See, that's that's the ministry of
Yeah.
SWC, right? It's extended that way, and as a church, we're one of the really the primary support for that outreach. And of course, that's only one of the global partners
Yes,
out of
yes.
all of our 11
11, yeah.
different ministry partners spread around the globe and here locally that we financially partner with. Total giving for 2020.
So really cool. We were over $120,000, which is just amazing. And that doesn't even include all the volunteer hours,
Right.
all of the donations of clothing or food or supplies to the Artisan Market. All of this makes a massive difference.
Big deal.
And just super excited to see what God has done.
All right, Christine,
Yeah.
your job for among all the other things for
Yes.
2021 is to keep those stories coming, all right?
Oh, we got lots coming.
Now that we're beginning a new year, we need to hear from you. Would you take a moment, I'm asking you, to prayerfully consider your financial participation for 2021? We call this game-changing giving because our financial resources they're absolutely acts of faith, and they are part of what God uses to bless others and in return bless those who give. On a really practical front, hearing from you, though your response is completely anonymous, so don't worry about that, it actually gives us some guidance for our planning and for us to make some of our new commitments to our global mission partners. Pastorally, may I remind you, please do not despise the size of your giving, nor should you think sparingly when God has provided for your needs. Giving of your finances is an extension of our worship, right? We know this. And it represents our trust in Him. For a church community, it's the resource to provide for the mission of the church. So again, let's stay on mission, right? The Apostle Paul beautifully testified, and I think it's appropriate here. He says, forgetting what lies behind, we press toward the goal, right? For the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. The idea there is that we're not tethered by the past, but passionately actually driven by faith and a forward focus on the goal. And what's that goal? It's the love and life of Jesus Christ. And folks, this remains our goal in 2021. It's Jesus, right? It's Jesus' ministry. So please, let me hear from you today. In one sense, our 2021 faithful, cheerful, and intentional giving, right? It only further proves Newton right. It's the action that we get to take, knowing it will result in a similar, I'll just say it this way, actually greater reaction. It's a reaction of blessing. So for SWC, that means more hurting people are helped and more disciples are being made. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for being family with SWC.